We are in the brown box that rocks, and the crowd is here to see the Ramblers avenge last year's semifinal loss in the MIVA Championship to the Mastodons of IPFW. Welcome, everybody. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson. Thanks for joining us. I'm joined by Mike Dodd, 1996 Olympic silver medalist. Mike, this championship couldn't have played out any better. It's as scripted, #1 seed versus #2 seed.
MIVA's got to be happy. IPFW, Arnie Ball is a great coach, and so is Loyola's Sean Davis. Last year it was Ball that got the best of Davis in the semifinal. This year it's Shane that's trying to get his team to the next level and revenge that loss from last year. And to help him do it, his MVP, Chris Kozlarek, he's a lefty, he's an opposite. He does everything on the court. He plays defense, he hits from the right side. Against IPFW, in the first 2 meetings, he had 19 kills and 24 kills. He's their go-to guy. He's got to come up big tonight for Loyola and for Shane Davis. And conversely, for Arnie Ball and IPFW, Josh Stewart, a young sophomore, 6'8" middle blocker. In the semi, he came up huge. He had 21 kills, 5 blocks. He's the up-and-coming young player on the team. They're going to need him to have an equal performance tonight to really help them get over the hump and beat Loyola. It's going to be a great match.
The teams are ready. The coaches are ready. The crowd is ready. Are you ready? First serve in the MIVA Championship coming up next.
Who cried?
I did.
Not me.
We're about to start the MIVA Championships here in Chicago, but first, let's meet the teams. First, the Mastodons of IPFW. Their starting lineup, Mike Marisi, their libero, has been battling an injury, a hip pointer, so we'll have to watch for him. But the big star in IPFW, CJ Macias, at outside hitter. If he goes, the team goes. So we'll watch for CJ Macias. The coach of this team is Arnie Ball, who is in his 26th year with the team. 26 years coaching this team. He's won 5 MIVA championships, so he has been here before. As for the Ramblers of Loyola, they've got a bunch of stars on there, but just as you were talking about, Mike, Chris Kozlarek is their big gun. He plays opposite. He's a lefty out there. He is a leader on this team and a senior. Meanwhile, their coach, Shane Davis, only graduated a couple of years ago. Davis, however, is the MIVA Coach of the Year, so with youth, don't be fooled. Second year consecutively, he is the MIVA Coach of the Year. These two teams are ready to start off this match. Mike.
There you see Coach Ball and Coach Davis just shaking hands there, mutual respect between the two coaches. And Arnie Ball's been here many a time, and for Shane Davis, I think this is one of those critical times, not only for his team, but for himself as a young coach to beat Arnie Ball in a huge match that really counts. Ball's team beat him last year when Shane's team was heavily favored. So I think this is a big night, not only for Shane, but for Loyola. They really have to come through.
This is the 23rd time these two teams have met. IPFW leads the series 13-10, but Loyola has won both meetings this season and are 5-3 over the last 2 seasons under the tutelage of this young Shane Davis.
And they played earlier in January, and Loyola just crushed IPFW, and then they played later on, early in April, on April 7th. It was a 4-game match, and each game was very tight, so you can see that IPFW is starting to find their game, starting to find their rhythm. They had a tough 5-game match in the semi, so this should be a very, very well played and very tight match.
Match is about to start. Colin Lundeen for IPFW, the setter, the quarterback of the team, if you will, is going to start it off for IPFW and the Mastodons. These teams have met so many times before. They don't like the history of losing to these teams. They're both expected to be here, the #1 and #2 seeds, exactly what you want in a championship. Colin Lundeen with the first serve. Nice pass by Loyola. They immediately go to Kozlarek, who puts it away cross court.
And we'll just start calling him Koz from now on, the Koz. Kozlarek, so effective hitting out of the back row that time. You see him now rotating into the front. He's so universal, and just what you want in your opposite. He jumps from behind the 10-foot line, putting that ball away cross court.
IPFW, the pass is saved by their setter. Another middle. They need to establish those middles early. Here comes Loyola, back to Koz. IPFW said no way this time.
And that was a huge one-on-one block for CJ Macias, #3. He swings his arms out, pikes over, and that's a huge block for the Mastodons.
How important is it, Mike, to send a message early to Cos that you can't do anything you want here?
I think it's huge. You've got to try to slow him down any chance you get.
Josh Collins for IPFW with the serve. Again, to the right side. This time, Chris Nelson from IPFW, but same result.
And again, the young sophomore, Josh Stewart, in the middle, number 15. He pikes his right hand over, taking away that cross court, coming up with another huge block.
The setter now has set the right side for Loyola 3 times in a row. Should he mix it up? Should he move it out?
Absolutely.
And he's listening to you, but Kozlarik's there on the outside. This time, he's dug by IPFW. Off the rafters, though, too many hits. There's some high beams here, or some low beams.
That's a tough break for IPFW. Here they have low lights, low beams, and the ball is in play on plays like that, and you have to be able to react and get this ball back over the net. IPFW just not able to do it.
And Loyola, of course, used to those beams because they play in here all the time. This time, C.J. Macias, IPFW's star, on the right side with a kill.
C.J. Macias, it's so important for him to get off to a big game. In the semifinal, 17 was his number. He had 17 kills, 17 digs, but also 17 errors. He's got to eliminate the errors if they're going to make hay in this final.
Josh Stewart served, but overpass. IPFW is waiting there to munch it up. Passing in this game, when somebody's passing over the net like that, what does it do to your game?
It's great for the IPFW game because you get to sit there at the net and bomb away at the overpass.
Josh Stewart serves again. They call him Big Red. Loyola working the middle this time. Out of system, IPFW.
There's a little mishandled ball for Serdar Sika out of Istanbul. He tried to take that play on too and just mishandled ball.
Serdar Sika actually recruited IPFW. He found this team on the internet. They actually gave him a partial scholarship without ever seeing him play. James Grunst serves. Serdar Sika again out of the middle. And now it's Loyola that's out of system. They go outside again to Brock Ulrich this time for IPFW with the kill.
Ulrich with a big hit on the outside. Another young player, just a sophomore, 6'6", real good looking young player out in the front row.
He grew to 6'6" his junior year of high school. He was 5'6" his sophomore year of high school. He grew 1 foot in a year. Woo! Number 14, Joe Guntley from Loyola.
That time the freshman Joe Guntley trying to rip that ball down the line, just hits it out of bounds. And this is what happens when you got the young freshman on the court. He brings a lot of fire and also makes some unforced errors.
The guy who makes fire for IPFW, C.J. Macias, is back to serve. They call him one of his most positive players. He's just a really cheerful guy and a heck of a serve there. Loyola working its middle, but IPFW gets the ball back to Macias, who managed to get it across to IPFW.
And Macias puts the ball away from the 10-foot line, but Joe Guntley, the freshman again, dropping off the net. You'll see here, Guntley dropping off the net, and you want to get 2 blockers up on that 10-foot line hit there. Another mistake for the freshman.
A lot of great emotion from IPFW right now. It's 7-3, IPFW leading game 1 of this championship. We're back, and C.J. Macias is back and ready to serve. 7-3, IPFW is leading game 1. Mike, how important is it for them to have this early lead away from home?
I think it's huge when you come into a hostile environment. You're able to calm the crowd down right away by getting that lead. It's very big for IPFW.
Chris Kozlarik then on the outside, but blocked by IPFW. They're really patrolling the net well. Now Lundeen sets the ball in the middle, hoping to get it back, but a big block by Loyola.
And that time Corey Kluse does a real good job of penetrating the net and taking away the cutback out of the middle. You're going to see Kluse go up, press over, and take away that cutback. Big block for Loyola.
Kozlarik, a burner serve there, handled by IPFW. And it back, Brock Ulrich right down the line again. Good ball, another point for IPFW.
That's another sweet play for Ulrich there. He received a tough Kozlarik serve, passed it on a dime, and then got out quick for the set and just beats it down the line.
Looks like he's playing doubles there, right? Everybody else can watch here.
Universal volleyball. Got to be able to pass, swing out, and hit if you're going to be an effective outside hitter now.
Ulrich with the serve. And Loyola working the middle. This time a back set to C.J. Macias. but it doesn't go over.
That time IPFW and Lundeen forces the issue a little bit, trying to go out to Macias again, a little too far outside, and Loyola keeps battling to win points.
Joe Guntley, the freshman for Loyola, misses a serve. So critical in these games because it's rally scoring, so every play is a point. Missed serve is a point for IPFW. They're now leading 9-5. Serdar Sitka from Istanbul, Turkey, back to serve, a vocal leader for this team. And working the middle again for Loyola. That time, Mike, the set maybe didn't cross the plane of the net, it looked like.
Brian Guntley needs to just lift this set up a little bit higher for his hitters. And that time, Corey Kloos going for the radical angle cross court, just hitting it in the net.
It looks like both teams are setting the middle quite a bit early on. Why is that?
Well, you want to establish the middle so that you can open up your outsides, and that's the goal of every setter, not only at the beginning of the match, but throughout the match. If you can continue to feed your middle blockers, that means you're in your system, you're running your offense, and that just opens everything up for the players on the outside.
Players like Claus over there on Loyola, who loves to have a one-on-one matchup, I suppose. Loyola now, just an easy down ball for IPFW. Nice set there, but no kill. Loyola again outside, blocking the ball, IPFW, and it's Loyola's again to do something with. So far out of system. Here's IPFW back in system, working the middle and gets the kill off Loyola.
That's a real nice three-set to Josh Stewart in the middle, working hard, blocking, getting off the net, making his approach, going up strong. And there you see the young sophomore right there. Huge in the semis, coming up big right now at the beginning of game one.
That's why they call him Big Red. He comes up big in these games. Maybe it's just because he's 6'8". Maybe that's why he's Big Red.
There you go, Colin Lundeen that time missing the jump serve, and there you see Big Red patrolling the middle.
Second team on MIVA's all-team list this year. Pass for IPFW, nice pass. They're back in system now. Nice hit there, but dug well. But this time they didn't like the ball handling of Loyola.
That was just a tough play for the cause there. The dig was heading out of bounds right up by the antenna. He tried to go up and save it. Mishandled ball, and he also netted with his right shoulder, so that was just a tough play for the cause.
Basic volleyball rules for those of you that don't watch a lot of volleyball: you can't touch the net ever. Don't touch it, it's electric. Or at least that's how you should act. Cause on the outside, hits it.
And Cause looking for a touch on the defensive play, and he got it. And he needed that kill right there, because he'd had a couple plays where he was getting blocked, and that time he goes up quick, rips it right off of Ulrich's arm, gets the kill.
Loyola serve. Nice IPFW pass, and there they are again, running the middle, setting the middle from IPFW.
And again, Josh Stewart just getting up big, running that three-set, which is a quick set, a little with more separation from the setter. And there you see the seam in between the outside and the middle blocker. Right now that three-set wreaking havoc for Loyola.
And what should Loyola do to counteract it?
Well, the outside blocker's got to come in a little bit, and the middle blocker's got to try to anticipate. But when you run it, it's a high risk reward type of play. The better you run it, the tougher it is to block. And that time, Sitka again getting up big and getting another big block for IPFW.
Now 14-8, IPFW, Big Red serving. Pass by the libero. And there's Loyola running their middle, but an amazing dig by IPFW. Here's Loyola again with the middle, another block by IPFW. This time they're going outside. Joe Guntley.
And you're going to see Loyola get very upset, because it looked like that ball went right off the block. And there you see the young freshman out there, Joe Guntley. He can't believe what happened. He ripped that ball right off the top of the IPFW block, and there you see the young player right there saying, okay, I got worked on that play. I got to come back and do a little bit better.
Coach calls him a very emotional player. I bet you. IPFW works the middle. James Grunst with a kill.
Brian Guntley, the setter for Loyola, continuing to feed the middle there to James Grunst. This time paying off for Loyola. Grunst just continuing to work that middle.
Now Grunst back to serve. Heavy serve. Back set to CJ Macias, a favorite target for IPFW. He's dug. IPFW, or Loyola, though, puts it over without an attack. Little roll shot there from Brock Ulrich. And they go to Kaz. Blocked. Outside set. And off IPFW's block. It seems to me, Mike, that IPFW is getting a touch on an awful lot of these balls right now.
IPFW is doing a great job at the net right now, reading the setter, getting 2 blockers up on the outside. And that has a lot to do with Loyola's ball control, too. The better they can pass, the more they can work their system and open up their outside so they're not hitting against 2 blockers.
James Brent serves again. Brock Ulrich takes advantage there. Nice dig by Loyola, though. They go back to Ulrich again. Another dig from Loyola. And a hammer from the outside, but IPFW handles it. A nice set all the way across, and a kill by C.J. Macias.
And Macias gets the big kill on that, but give Brock Ulrich, the young sophomore, credit for a great bump set. Look at him. He'll bump that ball straight across court. Perfect set there. And Macias knows what to do with it when he gets a good set.
He should be thanking him. That was beautifully, beautifully set to him. Macias now back to serve. And it's Kaz. Blocked by IPFW. Boy, they've got his number so far today. But this time, Joe Guntley again works at IPFW.
Yeah, and the young freshman is really working hard out there on the left side. He's getting a lot of high sets against 2 blocks on the outside, and he's doing a good job of just hitting low off the arms and getting the kills.
Kaz back to serve. In the net, point for IPFW. Would it be difficult as a player when you know that people are looking at you like Kaz to control your emotions, to get a hold of yourself after you've been blocked so many times?
Yeah, sometimes it's referred to as wanting it almost too much, and it looks like you can see it on Chris's face right now. He just wants it so bad. He's pressing a little bit, and he just needs to settle down a little bit and get himself into the rhythm of this game.
Woo! Huge hit there. Great set by Colin Lundeen. Set it up for Serdar Sitka. And the middle blockers got tricked into that. They were on their way down, it looked like.
Well, this was just great defense for IPFW right up to the net. And give Colin Lundeen credit, taking a huge high spinny dig, setting the quick set, catching everyone from Loyola off guard.
Serdar Sitka, as we said, found this team on the internet. The team had never seen him, but they gave him a partial scholarship. He had sent tapes of himself. There's Joe Guntley, puts it back in play. Free ball now for IPFW. And the setter attacks it a little bit. Colin Lundeen using his left hand there for an offensive attack against Loyola. And
Lundeen taking advantage of being in the front row. And you can see Loyola, they're a little discombobulated right now.
They have a time here to control themselves. It's 19-11, IPFW leading Loyola Chicago.
Go.
This is game 1 of the MIVA Championship. Indiana-Purdue Fort Wayne leading Loyola Chicago 19-11. Following our coverage here, we look east as CSTV brings you the action from the Eastern Intercollegiate Championships. Host school and top seed Penn State takes on St. Francis. Stay tuned later tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for the EIVA Championship match, only on CSTV. Brock Ulrich here, ready to serve. Look at this hitting percentage. IPFW hitting .348, but Loyola, 0. As many errors as kills. Oh! Big bomb by Corey Kluse out of the middle.
There you see Corey Kluse trying to get some emotion, trying to get his team fired up, and also loosened up there at the net. He just bombs this quick set. Right past Sitka.
Beautiful. Here's IPFW working the outside, again blocked, and they go to the backcourt with C.J. Macias. But they say that he got a little bit of a Loyola player along the way, a touch.
Macias hits the riser on that, just catches the Loyola defender on the way out. Another kill for C.J. Macias. That's 4 now with only 1 error. He's doing exactly what he needed to do in this final. Come out, bomb balls from the 10-foot line, and don't make a lot of errors.
Jared Quillen serving for IPFW. Again, Kluse out of the middle. And they take advantage of the overpass of Loyola. Brian Guntley. Let's go. The setter doesn't get to hit the ball that often.
The setters love to get a chance to swing when they have it. That time Guntley goes up and takes the overpass, putting the ball away for Loyola.
This game's been all Guntley. If you're listening, it's Brian Guntley, who is a junior setter, and Joe Guntley, his freshman brother. So you're hearing the Guntley brothers taking advantage here. Again, Colin Lundeen, IPFW, attacks the ball.
Lundeen again taking advantage of the Loyola blockers not really communicating well. If you're blocking, you got to know where the setter is at all times, and you got to go up and block that setter when he gets a pass up close to the net. Lundeen taking advantage of the Loyola block.
Until he makes that Loyola block respect him, I suppose he can do that all afternoon. Served by Lundeen, out of the middle for Loyola. They're really getting that middle working now. That time, it was James Grunst.
Guntley again to Grunst. Just Loyola continues to go to that middle.
Grunst is 6'8", and he has a huge jump. The coach told me he touches 11 feet 10 inches. That's amazing. That
works. He had 4 blocks in the semi, his first team all MIVA, and just an outstanding middle player.
He's getting faster and faster. Coach said he dropped 15 pounds in the offseason. IPFW working their middle. Josh Stewart, Big Red, going right past Loyola's block that time.
That time Big Red got up early and just beat the ball cross court. Another perfect pass for IPFW. Right now, that's the difference right now, is IPFW is passing better and they're putting more pressure on Loyola with their serves.
Another serve here, this time Josh Collins serves the ball long. He felt the pressure that time maybe.
He felt the jinx coming his way.
Yeah, exactly, as soon as you talk about it. Loyola now is going to serve the ball. Chris Nelson, a senior out of Racine, Wisconsin. One of their better passers here. The coach told me he erupts late in the game. This time, IPFW was set perhaps a little too tight.
A little too tight. Brock Ulrich couldn't control himself, just carried through into the net. That time, Chris Nelson with a nice little jump float serve, getting things going for Loyola. There you see the cause up at the net.
Yeah, he wasn't going to let that one go past. Another serve, setting the middle. That play that has worked so many times before with Josh Stewart has been dug this time. IPFW, Josh Stewart again attacks the ball. And here's Loyola, back to Cause. Blocked. Still in play. Middle, Josh Stewart again. Big Red comes up big. Josh Stewart hit .556 in the semifinals on Thursday. For people that don't know volleyball very well, is a batting average.
It's like a batting average, and hitting at 5 is huge. And what Josh Stewart is showing me right now is he's got so much range. If the set's a little inside, a little outside, it doesn't matter. He's got the long arms, the hang time. He's going up there and moving it around and frustrating the Loyola block.
Second team all conference. Back to Cause for Loyola. Now that is why they talk about the Cause. Just unloaded.
And you can see it building up. The Cause has been frustrated on numerous plays, not being able to put the ball away. Frustrated. This time gets a perfect set on the outside and says, okay, it's time for me to get it going.
Cause told me before the game, if they don't block me line, I love to hit line, and that's what happened there, straight down the line. There's IPFW out of the middle again. Nice one from Sudar Sitka.
And again, another great running one-hand set for Colin Lundeen. He's doing a great job of taking passes on top or even over the net and feeding his middle.
He makes it look so easy, just a nice little touch. But he touches that ball only about a foot in the air, and Sudar Sitka is right there waiting for it. CJ Macias with the serve. Loyola working their middle, this time blocked, but recovered. And it's back to the freshman, Joe Guntley.
And again, Guntley against 2 blockers, just hitting high off the hands, getting another big point for Loyola.
Now Cause is back to serve. As you said, you can almost feel him simmering from here. Nice serve, but handled. CJ Macias set in the backcourt. Hits the line judge on the foot. Oh, nope, they're saying it's in now. And I'm assuming the line judge wasn't standing in the court. The officials taking their time to decide.
You're going to see this ball just rip down the side.
Oh.
Yep, hit the line before it hit the referee. And you can see the up official, Brian Hemmelgarn, just pointing to his eyes saying, I saw that one hit the line.
He has the power to overrule any other official.
He has all power. That's
power.
why he's on top.
He's the mighty Oz. Nice hit out of the middle for Loyola. Too much for IPFW to recover.
And that's a tough break for IPFW. They did a good job of soft blocking that quick attack. Just CJ Macias unable to control it defensively in the back row.
Joe Guntley now back to serve for the team. He's not the greatest passer, the coach told me. He might come out of the passes are off, but he has been a tremendous hitter, and that's why they have him.
And a great server as well.
CJ Macias, they love to set him from the back.
And that time again, Colin Lundeen gives Macias a perfect set for a back row attack. 3 or 4 feet inside of that 10-foot line, and Macias is able to, with his athleticism, broad jump forward and hit that ball just like he's hitting a regular front row set.
You are watching the first game of the MIVA Championships right now. IPFW leading Loyola Chicago 26-19. This is rally scoring, so every time they touch the ball, it's a point. Block by IPFW, another point for them. These games go to 30. In a 5-game set as this is, Mike, best of 5. What does it mean to capture that first game?
Well, I think it's just a chance for IPFW to, again, silence the crowd, establish themselves, and right now they have a huge lead in this game 1, and they continue to pour it on.
Their play at the net so far has been superior, just the way they're patrolling that net.
Well, I think their play and also their emotions. They've come out, they've been focused, they've been sticking to the task at hand, and you can see the frustration and the tensity, the tenseness in the faces of the Loyola players. They're feeling the pressure right now.
This time, Loyola brings it back. Oh, and it's IPFW, Brock Ulrich, who hits it in the net. Point for Loyola Chicago. The crowd here, it's very loud. It's a very small gym. They call it the brown box that rocks. It is a small gym, but it really amplifies the noise. It amplifies the emotion here in the gym. Corey Clues, middle hitter, 6'5", out of Missouri, is back to serve. IPFW, nice pass. Lundeen can do whatever he wants, and he chooses CJ Macias again. Time and time again, CJ Macias gets that set. He is, according to the coaches, the most gifted athlete on this team. He's a surfer, kind of a laid-back guy.
And exactly the guy you want opposite your header. Hitting from the 10-foot line, playing that right side defense.
Here's game point, 29-20, game 1. Lundeen with a good serve. They go to Cause, and he uses that block from IPFW.
Well, in rally scoring, you're down 29-21 for Loyola of Chicago right now, and for Shane Davis right there. You just want your team to get some kind of rhythm. You're pretty much guaranteed you're not going to win this game 1, but if you can get a couple of good plays, steal a couple points, and get some rhythm going into game 2, that could really be huge.
These are all game points since it's rally scoring right now. They go back, but Loyola caught off guard a little bit. Without much of anything, IPFW manages to win the game. Gets game 1 to IPFW. Game 1 of the MIVA Championships. It's a best 3 out of 5 though, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back with game 2. MIVA Championship Game 2 about to start, but Game 1 was taken by IPFW with a score of 30-21, and it really seemed to be IPFW the whole way, Mike.
Yeah, IPFW came out strong from the start. They got Loyola in trouble with their serve. That gave them the opportunity to set up their block right there. Josh Stewart was rangy out of the middle, continuing to frustrate Loyola. And there you see Macias just bombing away at will from the 10-foot line. And Loyola really did a good job of just, IPFW did a great job of frustrating Loyola and keeping them out of their system and out of their game plan.
And even more amazing, in their house. Starting Sunday, CSTV brings you the evolution of college sports at the first ever Collegiate Nationals, sponsored by Xbox 360 and Jack in the Box. Nearly 1,000 athletes in beach volleyball, wakeboarding, snowboarding, boxing, triathlon, and whitewater kayaking will converge in Reno, Tahoe to vie for the right to be called national champion of their sport. It all starts with the Collegiate Nationals kickoff next Sunday at 9 Eastern, featuring semifinals action in boxing, the wakeboarding qualifying rounds, and much more. Beach volleyball for you volleyball lovers Converge begins Wednesday night at 9 Eastern. Get all the latest information, video clips, and local listings at www.thecollegiatenationals.com. We're back for game 2 now. Loyola, Chris Nelson is going to start them off with serving. He hasn't been much on an attack yet. He's actually hitting a negative percentage with 2 errors, no kills. But he serves that first ball in. Loyola goes back to the freshman, Joe Guntley, a little overeager that time.
And again, Joe trying to find some hands out there on the outside. No avail. IPFW again, very disciplined in their blocking schemes right now.
Josh Collins for the Mastodons. Serves the ball back to Guntley again. Not their best passer, so that's a good target. They go to Kaz, though, one of their best hitters. And again, Kaz. But he followed through this time.
Kaz touched the net. Tough attempt there, the ball real tight. And again, you can see Loyola just looking in the faces of the players. They're so tight right now, so tense. They've got to find a way to loosen themselves up and let the crowd help them.
Here's a pass. They set outside to the freshman. Nice hit there by Guntley. Are you surprised at all, Mike, to see them setting Guntley as much as they are versus Kozlarek?
Well, yes, but it happens when you're not passing the ball well. As soon as your passing breaks down, you have to shoot the ball out to your left side hitter, and that's why Guntley has gotten so many attempts so far in this match. It's not that they're trying to go to him on purpose, it's that they're forced to go to him because they're not receiving serve well.
And they're not serving well either. James Grunt's there with another service error. There's some times in volleyball where you just don't miss a serve, and one of them is after the teammate before you missed their serve. James Grunt's that time, breaking that rule and missing a serve again. Josh Stewart, Big Red, back to serve for IPFW. Ooh, a little miscommunication there for Loyola. Back set, IPFW. Little roll shot. How about something a little soft this time?
And CJ Macias has just been bombing all night long, and what does he do? He breaks out the little top spin roll, catching Loyola completely on their heels. And again, this is an overpass. Tough attempt there for Loyola to run their offense. And there you see Macias, nice little roll shot. Loyola on their heels, mixing it up well right now.
CJ Macias, the leader of this IPFW team. That time Big Red serves the ball out. Every time you serve the ball out, it's a point for your opponent, a little Christmas gift early. Now Kaz, back to serve for Loyola. Tough serve. When they set the ball over, the referees did not like the touch on that ball.
And this is what Loyola needs out of the Kaz right now, to get a little momentum going, get him in rhythm with his jump serve so he can put the pressure on IPFW.
When he's in rhythm, he is unstoppable. He's a MIVA Player of the Year. That's a nice serve from Chris Kozlarek. Kozlarek, a very strong overall player for Loyola.
Well, if your team's going to win the MIVA, they're going to go to the NCAA Final Four. If they're going to do everything that you expect them to do, you want your big player to come up big in these matches. It's mandatory.
Kozlarek, second in the conference in points per game, in kills, and in aces. Amazing player.
Leads the team in digs. He just does it all. And as soon as we pump him up.
Yeah, I think he's listening. I think he has an IFB in his ear. CJ Macias, the star for the Mastodons, is going to take over on the serve this time for IPFW. He's also a MIVA first team all conference. And he misses the serve. So now we're getting into a section. Does it get into your head at all with the serve when you're seeing some other service aces, or is it really an individual skill?
I think so. I think volleyball is such a game of momentum. As soon as you start to feel your team's momentum, you see the rhythm going, and all of a sudden Loyola is coming out and serving so much better now than they were in game one. And it all started with the Kaz. He got a couple of big serves. He missed one, but he set the stage. He loosened things up, and that's what serving is. It's a lot of rhythm. It's a lot of momentum. When you feel confident back there, you hit a better jump serve.
Momentum now Loyola's way. Joe Guntley serves the ball. IPFW sets it outside, but a great dig by Loyola. And that time IPFW got a little bit caught up, Colin Lundeen, and he said
Colin Lundeen got whacked by his middle blocker and wasn't able to control himself. Ended up going underneath the middle line, and another point for Loyola.
And you might think Lundeen's a 6'3" guy. He's not going to get whacked around that much, but his middles are 6'7". So, you know, there is a difference. Those are big guys. Joe Guntley, meanwhile, 6'5" outside hitter. Look at IPFW out hitting Loyola, 372 to Loyola's 100. Guntley, again, another service error. There are times, as we said, when you don't miss a serve. Another time is when your opponent has missed their serves. You also didn't miss the first serve of the game, the last serve of the game, a serve right after a timeout, a serve after you missed your last serve. These are rules, Mike. Why is nobody listening to these rules?
Because they're young.
Middle attack from Loyola. IPFW forced completely out of system. Here's Loyola's opportunity to run the middle, and it works. Corey Clues for Loyola with a kill out of the middle.
And again, Brian Guntley running a nice middle attack to Clues. Loyola starting to find their rhythm.
Beautiful turn back. Clues now has a chance to serve. And you can hit the net in volleyball and have it still go in. Great serve by him, but it was delivered back to Loyola and IPFW. That's the point.
That time Colin Lundeen does a great job of saving an overpass and going up and jousting and just pushing that ball back over to Loyola's side. Lundeen doing a lot of nice things for IPFW so far in this match.
Oh, a big bomb from 6'8" middle blocker James Grunst.
And that's what happens when you're passing the ball perfectly up to the net. The setter gets up, takes the first blocker with him. That opens up the cross court.
Absolutely.
And Grunst just unloads.
Textbook hit there by James Grunst. Back in play. IPFW counters with their middle. Big Red.
Big Red again, rangy out of the middle, and Brock Ulrich, number 4, doing a great job of passing right now for IPFW.
Big Red, 6'8", middle blocker. Tough serve, but Loyola has it in play. They go outside the cause. There's a block attempt there, and CJ Macias. Loyola, Cause is fired up about that. He's taking every opportunity to celebrate.
And that's
right
a senior play for you. Cause had a ball way outside. He just kept the ball in play, got back into position, and helped set up a nice 2-man block.
James Grunst there from Loyola closing that block. Oh, they did not like the hands of Colin Lundeen there. That
time Lundeen takes a little too low, tries to fling it to the outside. Referee calls a double contact, and it's time for IPFW to take a timeout.
Game 2 of the MIVA Championships. Game 1 was taken by IPFW, but this game so far is being led by the home team, Loyola, 11-8. Game 2 of the MIVA Championships, 11-8 Loyola Chicago. The home team is leading Game 2, but they lost Game 1, so they need Game 2 in order to keep from being down 2-0 and face elimination in Game 3. Right now, back to serve. Chris Nelson, a 6'4" outside hitter. Middle attack again. Kind of a funny shot there.
A little bit of a misconnection there between Lundeen and Stewart. Perfect pass, unable to run their offense. IPFW.
Chris Nelson serves again. The ball, not a great pass there. CJ Macias, favorite target. Hits the ball.
And there you see no argument there from James Grunst, called into the net. Tough break for Loyola. They did everything you want to do. You got IPFW in trouble with the serve, a nice soft block, just in the net.
Does it change things for you at all when one of your teammates, when you have the momentum and one of your teammates touches the net?
Well, it's just one of those plays where almost every contact in volleyball, you're playing off your teammate. It's either a good play or a bad play, and you just have to try to make the next play that much better. And it's just it's an ongoing process.
Grunts with the serve. Oh, CJ Macias from the outside. Big cross-court kill.
And again, the athleticism of CJ Macias, taking a set well outside the antenna, just finding a hole in the block. Real nice set there. Macias so rangy.
There's a 17 kills and 17 digs in the semis you were talking about. Outside set now. Joe Gutley just snaps that ball down.
And he's got to go thank his brother Brian for that one. Brian got all the IPFW blockers in the air early and left his brother out there with no block, something an outside hitter just loves.
I was asking Shane Davis if the brothers ever fight, and he said Joe doesn't want to fight his brother because his brother's the one setting the ball. Oh, and a triple block, and IPFW still puts it past. CJ Macias really starting to fire up now.
And that's one of those plays that you just have to say, oh my. Macias against a three-man block, hitting it well inside the 10-foot line cross court. That's just a big-time attack.
Macias is new to IPFW this year. He's a transfer out of the University of Findlay. And in his first year, he's MIVA first team in the conference, and he led the conference in kills per game. He's been a huge asset to this IPFW team. Gutley, the freshman, serving for Loyola. And Sardar Sitka with a kill out of the middle for IPFW.
And again, IPFW continuing receiving serve well, running their offense, running their middle.
Sardar Sitka out of Istanbul, Turkey, led the conference in blocks per game this year. Paz uses that block from IPFW.
Just such a natural right side back row hitter. Left-handed snap, broad jumping across the 10-foot line. Such an all-round player.
Nice pass for IPFW, puts the ball in the middle. Sardar Sitka again with a kill right over the Loyola players.
And Sitka's a little different. He's not the bomber, you know, he's not blasting away, but he's finding the seams. There you see Loyola unable to control, not a lot of heat, but in the right places.
There's Coach Arnie Ball in his 26th year at the helm of this team. Loyola, that time, working in the middle. You know, what's so interesting to me about Arnie Ball, he's 26 years old, and the coach that he's facing, Shane, I mean, he's 26 years. The coach is 26 years old. Shane Davis, the coach of Loyola, was born in the first year that Arnie Ball started coaching IPFW. That's amazing. Oh, big block there, but CJ Macias right off their head. And they go to the freshman, Joe Gutley, in the backcourt.
Give credit there to the cause, taking that ball and giving Gutley a perfect set on the 10-foot line. Joe just ripping it cross court. Another big point.
Gutley really seems to be in a groove right now. Just nice and calm. Brian Gutley setting the ball. That time he's down to dig the ball, and Cos manages to get it over. Lundeen sets the ball in the middle. The big red with a kill.
That time Loyola finally got on the dump, but unable to control defensively, and Stewart gets off the net, making a great approach and doing his work in the middle.
Josh Stewart, a smart guy too. A 3.5 GPA is required in order for him to keep his scholarship, and he does every time. The cause again from the outside.
And it doesn't matter where the pass is, on that outside set, they run it fast to the cause, and he's got such a quick arm swing, he's able to get it through the block.
Chris Kozlaric, he hasn't shaved that beard since they lost last time. Last year it was Lucky Socks, so I guess we should be happy that this year they chose not to shave. The socks, Kozlaric again. Now he's starting to wake up, the superstar of this team.
And there you see Koz starting to funnel that energy, some of that emotion into the positive way for Loyola. Again on the right side, just ripping it across his body.
If you do not protect that line, he'll make you pay. Let's go now to our Game Tracker studio with Greg Amsinger and USC men's assistant volleyball coach Bill Ferguson.
All right, guys, thank you very much. It's Greg Amsinger back in the field house with Bill Ferguson, the assistant men's volleyball coach at USC. IPFW hanging in right now. Is this going the way you expected so far?
Not quite. I expected Loyola to come out and maybe beat them up a little bit. They got out in 3 last night, a little bit rested. IP went 5. Thought maybe they'd be tired. Looks like IP carried a little bit of that over from their match last night. Now,
Arnie Ball, who's the head coach at IPFW, you talked to him via email last night. What did he say?
He told me to go easy on him, and I think he was probably sandbagging a little bit like he does when he plays golf.
He's a very humble guy. So what do you expect for the rest of the match?
I don't know. The IP was controlling the net in game one. Cause has got to get hot for Loyola, and maybe a little bit more of that. Starting to see it turn around.
All right, Bill's going to be with us throughout the day as our triple header of volleyball action continues here on CSTV. We get the EIVA and the MPSF championships coming your way right here on CSTV. But for now, let's go from the field house back to Chicago.
Game 2 of the MIVA championship. Loyola Chicago leading 20-14. We're right in the middle, right in the heat of it. Loyola having the momentum. Mike, at this point, what does Loyola need to do?
Well, I just think they need to keep doing what they've done from the start of this game, too, and that's put the pressure on IPFW, smooth things out, make plays in transition, and just keep the fire going. Right now, as we saw everything going IPFW's way in game 1, now it's all turned around and going Loyola's way in game 2.
Joe Guntley, a big part of the fire that Loyola has been having. Look at this, the hitting percentage for Loyola Chicago, .533. Can you imagine a team hitting .533 after hitting 158? It's amazing.
After 158, that's the way you turn things around. That's what great teams do. Average teams, they lose the match and then they talk about it after and they figure out a way to do better the next game. Great teams figure it out in the middle of the match and they can turn it around and start out poorly and still end up winning.
Do you think there's any advantage to the Ramblers in that their coach is only 3 years removed? I mean, that he really remembers the play. Does that have any effect, do you think?
I don't know. It probably affects him wishing that he was on the court because he can probably still play a pretty good game of volleyball. But I think, you know, when you're coaching, you can make some substitutions and you can make some different moves during a match of who you put in. But in the end, it's the players that have to play the game on the court.
Kozlarek still on the court, who was actually a teammate of Shane Davis's, with another kill.
And the Cause is really starting to heat things up right now. It's his 9th kill. Macias has 11 kills for IPFW. They're the 2 kill leaders for their teams respectively, and to be expected. James
Grunst of Loyola looking to capitalize on this momentum as they lead 22-15. Lundeen, the setter, puts the ball to Brock Ulrich and gets a kill for IPFW.
And again, Josh Stewart does a great job of selling that middle, going up hard, takes the blockers with him and opens it up for the outside. Just what you love in a middle blocker. 6'8", young, workhorse.
Big Red coming out though, where Jared Quillen now going in. One of the best teams. He's a serving specialist for the Mastodons. Plus Big Red gets a little bit of a rest there. Serving specialist put in a good serve, you'd hope so, but they work the middle there from Loyola. That time it's Cruz.
That's one of the rule changes as well. When you come in and you serve a great float serve, it doesn't matter because now you can just take that serve with the hand and push it up to the net, and that way Loyola can run their middle and run their offense like they did right there.
Cause with the serve, but it's long. Loyola Chicago leading 23-17. They're hoping to keep this momentum they built up in game 2, but they've got CJ Macias back to serve. He has been on fire all day. Macias, a sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale. Oh, he gives it right back to Loyola.
That's twice where Cause has missed his serve and then Macias has come right back and missed his serve right after.
That's 8 service errors for IPFW, 6 for Loyola. You really have to match that up against the aces though, and there have not been a lot of aces today. Except there.
On command, Joe Guntley, the young freshman. We mentioned it earlier. He's young, he makes mistakes, unforced errors, sometimes doesn't pass as well, but this is the firepower that he brings to the team.
They're starting to even up a little. 6 errors, but 3 aces for Loyola. You want to try to have that around 1-1. There's Cause. IPFW digs it, but they get nabbed by those Raptors again. They manage to recover, and Loyola runs their middle, gets nothing out of it. Oh, 2 players bump into each other.
Great reaction for IPFW, getting that ball back over the net after it hits the light. Huge save.
That's tough in this game. It's not their home court. These rafters, these lights are so low. That was a great recovery by IPFW. Loyola Chicago digging the ball 19 times so far this match. But yet another service error for Loyola Chicago. That's 9 errors and no aces. I mean, for IPFW.
And another factor is Loyola has such a big lead right now in IPFW. And the converse happened in the first game where IPFW had a big lead. When teams have a big lead, you see the other team forcing, trying to make things happen with their jump serve, and that's what leads to a lot of missed serves.
Loyola goes outside, but it's dug by IPFW. They put the ball up to CJ Macias. Triple block. He still gets it past them. A dig by Macias this time. IPFW puts it in now. This is the time that Brian Guntley attacks the ball.
We've seen Lundeen do it a few times for IPFW. This time, Guntley's turn to go up and just throw it down. There's Macias so athletically with the pancake there, and here's the perfect pass and the throwdown.
Very decisive play by Brian Guntley. You can't hesitate at all as a setter if you're running the ball, but yet another service error for Loyola.
There, Ryan Martin came in off the bench, tried to get something going for Loyola. Right now, all they have to do is focus on serve, receive, running their offense, and closing out this game 2 to even it up.
Josh Stewart patrolling the net there for IPFW. Now we've got Michael Quinones, another serving specialist for the Mastodons, ready to go. Both teams bringing in their serving specialists, hoping to get something going. Cause. Clear road ahead.
Another perfect back set from Guntley to Cause. Hitting from the 10-foot line. You're going to see the broad jump. Jumps from behind the line, ends up right at the net. That's how you write it up in the textbook.
Brian Guntley with the serve. Oh, he catches the line there. Another point for Loyola Chicago. We're at game point now of game 2 in the MIVA Championship. IPFW took game 1. Loyola Chicago on the verge here. Game point, 29-19. CJ Macias. Big hit, uses the block of Loyola and keeps it alive for his team.
And Macias just continues to roll.
Big red up at the net for IPFW. You've got Colin Lundeen, the setter, back serving the ball. It has to be in, and it is not. So there goes game 2 to Loyola Chicago. We are split 1-1 in the MIVA Championships. This is a best-of-5 match, so don't go anywhere. We're starting with game 3 after this, but for now, we're all tied up. 1-1 after 2 games in the MIVA Championship. Chris Kozlarek a little quiet in game 1, Mike, but in game 2, he came alive.
Well, you look at his face, and he's so much more relaxed now. You see him there hitting on the outside. Vintage 10-foot line here. Now the Cause is going to take a perfect pass right here. Give it to the setter for the throwdown. And you can just see it on the faces of the Loyola players. They've settled down. They're more relaxed. And they've just worked themselves back into this match here in game 2.
And look how this team has changed. You can tell why the score changed. Loyola Chicago hitting a miserable 158 in game 1, hitting huge percentages in game 2. If you think about this, as we were talking, in terms of a batting average, anything over 300, would you be happy with that?
It is golden, yeah. And to hit 500 as a team or 400 as a team, you know you're getting the job done.
Chris Kozlarek, 9 kills, 2 aces, a lot of errors on both sides in terms of service, but the momentum you could feel so clearly switch when Chris Kozlarek, the MIVA Player of the Year, took control of that game.
And I tell you, in game 1, he was so nervous and he was so amped and so pumped up. I think he actually tightened up the rest of his players as well, because they're going to go as their leader goes, and he really settled it down here in game 2.
Game 3 now underway in the MIVA Championship. CJ Macias, IPFW's favorite target, was dug here by Loyola. Free ball, a chance for IPFW to be in system. They run their middle, and it works. Loyola trying to chase it down, but couldn't get it.
Tough break there for Brian Guntley. Had a nice defensive up and just couldn't control it. IPFW patient, and there you see Guntley right there, just a little upset. He should have controlled that ball on the defensive side.
Josh Stewart, big red, serving for IPFW. Middle attack, but that time the middle hitter looked a little bit twisted. What happened?
At that time, Grunts was just going for a little too much. Such a talented, tall, rangy player. Thought he could bite off a little more than he can chew. Just a little too much radical angle and hits it out of bounds.
First team all-conference, a 6'8" middle blocker. Oh, Brock Ulrich off the head of the Loyola player and into the upper section of the arena.
Ulrich, we've said it before, 6'6", young sophomore, great hops, great range, and outside hitters love those overpasses.
That's a headache there. Somebody get that man some aspirin. Cause outside, big hit, dug by IPFW. Here we go, though. Brock Ulrich hit, dug by Cause, and they go to Cause again on the outside. He's blocked and he digs his own ball, and they keep going back to Cause. He uses the IPFW block this time. Out of bounds, Loyola point.
Cause says twice, maybe 3 times never. That time he gets that final set on the outside, just tooling it down the line. Such an experienced senior player.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
There you have it.
And they give it back to him this time, using Loyola's block against them. That's an IPFW point. CJ
Macias just so potent on that right side. Now he's got to lift his team up a little and get things going with his jump serve. So gifted athletically.
First team all-conference, the best blocker on the team. Certainly has been a huge target for hitting. And Joe Guntley, the freshman from Loyola, snaps it down the line.
Guntley, a real bright spot for Loyola tonight, just a freshman. Takes another quick set to the outside, beats the block.
Joe Guntley hitting .308 after 2 games.
Gives a little point to his brother Brian and says thanks for the set.
You better thank him. I really love. Brock Ulrich outside, sees the triple block, and just goes right over it.
Ulrich again doing a good job, taking it off, mixing it up. He delivers heat. This time he just does a little drop shot over the block.
Brock Ulrich back to serve. As we were saying, 5'6" as a sophomore in high school, threw a foot before his junior year. Amazing, 6'6" in 1 year, his poor mother.
And 6'6", and he's done a great job in serve reception tonight as well, covering the back row. That's the mark of a good athlete, all-round player.
And outside for IPFW, Josh Collins saw a hole and took advantage of it.
Josh Collins does it all on this play, a la Karch Karai. Reaches over, gives a perfect pass, swings to the outside. Nobody home. Great all-round play for number 5.
6-3, IPFW leading game 3 of the MIVA championship. But Joe Guntley, the freshman, is having the time of his life.
And Joe Guntley does the same thing. He steps in, takes that serve reception, then gets to the outside. Outside hitter showing universal play right now. Great ball control, combined with great power.
You know, sometimes those freshmen don't know to be nervous. I mean, he comes to college, he goes to the championship, he's trying to get to be in the semifinals in the national championship. He doesn't know any better, he's not even nervous. Oh, and he got a piece of that ball, not up high enough for his teammates to make a play.
There you see Guntley again, now playing defense in the back row. And
his coaches told me he's not the greatest passer, so he's somebody they try to hide in this serve receive. Of course, you don't have to hide when there's service aces. I mean, service errors still from IPFW. Ball's got to be in the court to make it work. That's another free point for Loyola.
Colin Lundeen, one of his few errors on the evening, setting a great match for IPFW.
IPFW in play now, goes outside to CJ Macias. God, he's got a quick arm, doesn't he?
Quick arm and great legs. Just explodes off the ground. Another perfect pass from Ulrich, and Macias, the recipient. Everyone feeds off everyone else. It all starts with a good pass. Then your bombers get to bomb away because you're running your offense.
And it should start with a good serve, but now that's another service error for IPFW. Second one. These coaches have got to be making themselves crazy with these errors.
And some of the misses for IPFW. It's one thing if you're getting teams in trouble and occasionally missing, but right now they're missing very easy serves.
That is unacceptable as a coach to have 13 service errors and no aces, and that's what IPFW has right now. That's half a game of 3 points. They go outside. Brock Ulrich hitting the ball. How can you, as a coach or player, turn it around when you have something like that? 0 aces, 13 errors.
Well, stats can sometimes be misleading, and just because you don't have aces, if your jump serve is getting teams in trouble, drawing the pass off the net, making your opponent have to set different balls to the outside, then your jump serve, even though you're missing it occasionally, is doing its job. The problem with IPFW is they're missing serves and they're not getting Loyola in trouble with their serves that are going in, and that's the problem.
That time, IPFW getting the ball, but they're going to take a break now, try to reconvene, get themselves together. This is game 3 of the MIVA Championships. IPFW leading 10-6. Just keep on coming on CSTV. In the MPSF, we'll have a surprise winner as the 7th-seeded UCLA looks to continue their run of upsets in search of the title when they take on 4th-seeded Long Beach State, who upset top-seeded UC Irvine in the semifinals. Stick around tonight at 10 Eastern for exclusive coverage of the MPSF championship match only on CSTV. We're back in game 3 now. IPFW has the serve and maybe a little bit of the momentum as they lead game 3 10-6. Outside set to Kaz. The favorite target. And they're saying it's a Loyola ball.
And Kaz is so tough to stop when he gets that quick set to the outside. He's just got such an explosive arm, such a quick arm swing.
He's had twice as many attempts as anybody else on his team in terms of attack. And there's good reason. He's hitting 348. There's a service ace for Loyola. They love to see that. Not only is it a point, but it's a momentum change for them.
And Chris Nelson has been doing a real good job of getting IPFW in trouble with a jump float serve.
Coaches told me he tends to erupt late in the game, but he has been serving well for this team when they really need it. Loyola getting the ball to IPFW, trying to get in system, and they do. Sudar Sitka out of the middle. Big game.
And again, Colin Lundeen does a great job of taking a pass right on top of the net, the one-hand set. Middle blocker's out, and Sitka just takes advantage.
Now it's up to CJ Macias to take advantage of this. CJ Macias having some trouble with his serve today. The rest of his game looking pretty darn good. And more trouble with his serve. When you have somebody like CJ Macias who has missed so many serves, can you sub for him at that point? I know you're limited on the amount of subs you have.
I don't think you sub for him, but I think you definitely sit him down when you get a chance and tell him to maybe take a little bit off his serve for a while and get a rhythm back. He's playing great, he's hitting great, but his serving is just a little out of sync right now. And sometimes when you're pressing, that's the first thing that goes, is your toss, your rhythm when you're jump serving.
What about staying on the ground, not doing a jump serve? Is that something that a guy will do, or is ego in the way?
No, that's something that you'll do.
Just get it in the box at that point. IPFW working their middle, and they go outside to the freshman, Joe Gutling. Loyola gets another point. Tie game in game 3. Halfway through the match, halfway through the game almost.
And the young freshman is just coming up so huge right now for Loyola. Guntley this time ripping it down the line off of Macias. Big time hitting for the freshman outside.
Joe Guntley, one of 2 brothers on this team. 4 digs, 10 kills, and absolutely no fear. Brock Ulrich. Big hit dug by Loyola, but they're badly out of system at this point. IPFW has a chance to do something. Great pass. They move the middle, and they make it work with Sudar Sitka.
Sitka does a great job swinging outside for that 3 set. Again, Lundeen right on the money setting. IPFW continues to work against Loyola. This is a crucial game 3.
Loyola undefeated this year in this gym, 17-0 in alumni gym here on Loyola's campus. They go back to Kaz. There's a little shot down the line, dug by IPFW. Josh Collins, though, goes up and gets the kill for IPFW. They don't seem to care about the 17-0 record of
Another
Loyola.
big dig for Morici, number 1, the libero in the back row, and Loyola in the net on that play. Another point for IPFW.
Brock Ulrich back to to serve. Coaches described him as gangly. He was so fast, he's so tall, he's a little thin. Doesn't necessarily have control of his body like Kaz does. IPFW showed him the line and he took it.
Brian Guntley just giving the Kaz an absolute perfect set. Everyone thought he was going to go all the way cross court, and he drops it right there for the Kaz. And when Kaz gets his set, he knows what to do with it.
He told me before the match, if they give me the line, I will take it every time. Loyola, great dig there, but weren't able to make it work. Oh, they were able to make it work. IPFW frustrated at losing that point.
And there's a tough call. This is one of those plays where, as a blocker, you have to wait for this ball to cross the top of the net. Sitka that time reaches over before the ball crosses the plane. You can follow through over, but the ball has to get to your side first. You can't follow through over and hit it before it gets there.
Coaches said that Sitka, a very emotional player, yells at the refs, and they say, yell at him in Turkish. Why are you yelling at him in English? And he yells to make sure you can understand him.
And there you see a little frustration there for the Kaz. That's one of those serves where Loyola got the momentum. You don't want to give it right back to IPFW and miss that serve.
You could feel the gym deflate with that.
And there's the young coach, Shane Davis.
Only 3 years removed from his playing career. The coaches of IPFW telling me Shane Davis was the greatest setter. How about that block from IPFW? Big Red coming up big.
And IPFW's had trouble stopping Joe Guntley out there on the outside.
That time, Serdar Sitka.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Lundeen all the way out.
Lundeen does a great job there on the right, getting over.
Sitka with the serve. Kaz, the target, big hit. Tries to see if there's a hole in IPFW's block, and the answer is no.
Right now, IPFW doing a real good job of reading Guntley, the setter. Even in their play sets, they're getting 2 blockers out to the outside.
Josh Stewart getting some momentum now. A couple of big blocks in a row. Sitka back to serve. IPFW leading 16-13 in game 3 of the MIVA Championships. Here's Lundeen going back. CJ Macias loves that set from the back. He just goes a little bit long.
Tough break for Macias. He came up with the defensive play and wanted it right back from the 10-foot line. And if you're Loyola, you breathe a sigh of relief.
Here's Joe Guntley, the freshman. On your serve, you got to control your emotions. This needs to be in the box. And it is. Beautiful serve. IPFW trying to handle the pass, but they couldn't. Another point for Loyola. They're within 1.
Joe Guntley's been doing a real good job of putting a lot of heat on his serve, putting the pressure on IPFW.
Guntley serving again. Hot serve. Outside set. Josh Collins gets blocked. Now they're playing it off the rafters there. Big Red tries to do his best, but Loyola knows these rafters too well.
Corey Kluse does a good job of staying with that, staying focused, blocking that ball. Another big play for Loyola, and they're right back here in game 3.
The box that rocks is rocking now. We're in game 3 of the MIVA Championships. Guntley serves out. Too long, too much emotion on that one.
The young freshman was feeling it on that. Knocks it about 20 feet deep. Now can he turn around and focus and serve receive?
Number 8, Lundeen, IPFW's setter. And a big hit there from Chris Nelson.
Chris Nelson needed that. He's had a rough night so far hitting percentage-wise. He needed a nice set and a nice play. And here you're going to see a little inside set. He's going to come in and hit right over the block. Nice play.
You know, Nelson, a starter for this team, doesn't get the attention that Kozlarek does, but he certainly had a beautiful, smooth hit there. And Big Red out of the middle. Dug by Loyola. Oh! But Chris Nelson tripped in his pursuit of the ball. IPFW, it looks like he's okay.
Tough break there, but Loyola starting to show their wares defensively, picking up a lot of balls.
A little sweat on the floor, they're wiping out. Chris Nelson saying, I'm fine, smiling. You can feel their stress level come down. Meanwhile, the Mastodons, Josh Collins, ready to serve. Tight game, game 3, and a deciding game too, really, because it's 1-1 in this match. Kaz gets the call. Dug by the setter, and it goes outside to Brock Ulrich. Easy shot. Now Loyola in system, goes to Cause again. Soft shot. And IPFW was there, just couldn't get it up.
That time Cause, a very rare dink. Just over the block. Macias was there, kind of in between flipping it up and doing a pancake. And here you're going to see Macias. The ball just kind of sits on the top of his hand, and a big kill for Loyola and the Cause.
As a hitter, how do you know when to switch it up?
I think it's a rhythm thing again. You've been bombing all night long. You feel the defense is on their heels. You've got 2 blocks against you, and it's time to throw in something different.
CJ Macias gets blocked. That's something a little different for this IPFW team. You can see the strain on the IPFW players' faces.
And here you're going to see, this is just a communication thing. And this is the first time I've seen real frustration in the players from IPFW. And Coach Ball is right on it and takes a timeout.
This is his time to get his team regrouped. Shane Davis is going to try to talk his team into keeping momentum. Don't go away. We'll be back. Game 3 of the MIVA Championships. Loyola leading 19-18. Right now is a deciding moment for these teams. The match is split so far. The momentum has been shifting back and forth. It's close. What's going to be the key to success?
So often than not, that game 3 is so pivotal when it's 1-to-1, and there you see it's tight. A lot of defense, a lot of blocking, a few unforced errors, and this is a critical time right now.
Ryan Gottlieb serves for Loyola. Big Red hits the ball out of the middle. Point IPFW. IPFW battling some frustration before that timeout. Going to make a few substitutions here. And Jordan Quillen, the serving specialist, is going to serve.
Great timeout from Arnie Ball, just settling his team down, run a nice quick play there to Josh Stewart in the middle, and settled everything down for IPFW.
Quillen, serving specialist, puts it deep off the head there from Loyola, and again those rafters get in the way of IPFW.
And you know, if there ever would be a home court advantage, there really is one for Loyola, because they practice in this gym. They're used to playing those ricochets off the lights. They know when it's going to happen. And so that really is a home court advantage. But then you give it right back away by serving out of bounds.
Again, another service error here. Tied up in Game 3 of the MIVA Championships. Tied up in every way. 20-20 in Game 3. Game 1 went to IPFW. Game 2 went to Loyola. Now CJ Macias back to serve for his team. And it's got to be in the box.
and this game is also crucial in that the first 2 games were blowouts. One blowout for IPFW, one blowout for Loyola. So now we've got a tight game here in Game 3, and I think the team that can mentally focus and push their way through and win this Game 3 is going to have a huge advantage to win the match.
Ryan Martin for Loyola, a serving specialist, has been brought in. He has to get this ball in the box. A great serve by him. And Lundeen again attacks the ball. That's worked for him 3 times today.
Lundeen attacks. Guntley did a good job of being on it and making the defensive play. Loyola just couldn't control it.
Brock Ulrich back to serve now for IPFW. He had his first double-double of the season on Thursday. In the semifinals, he got a service ace when they needed it most. IPFW up 22-21. Chris Nelson tries to just shake it off.
And you never know who's going to be the player to come through and deliver in crunch time.
Brock Ulrich serving again. Out to Cause. It's a cross-court duck by CJ Macias. And this time, it is attacked, and a point for IPFW.
And now it's time for Loyola to take a timeout. Look here at Lundeen. He's going to do a 360, catch everyone off guard, and whip that ball down the line. You just don't expect a setter to do this in a transition type of play. Great play there by Lundeen, number 8.
You don't expect a setter to do that. And IPFW, frankly, we haven't expected them to have an ace. That was their first ace of the match. They finally have gotten that monkey off their back. Arnie Ball now trying to talk to his team, trying to talk to CJ Macias, his star, and maybe talk to him about his service, maybe talk to him about his attacking. What would you say?
Well, look, I think it's more like a father talking to his son. He gets very close, right in his ear, lets him know that he loves him. And that's the mark of a great coach. So much is beyond the X's and the O's. It's the human factor. And you have to be able to inspire your players and inspire them to go beyond what they even think they can do. And Arnie Ball has proven that he can do that because he's always getting the most out of his team.
NCAA men's lacrosse, just in case you don't get your fill of championships today, we've got one more for you tomorrow at noon Eastern as CSTV brings you coverage of the Patriot League men's lacrosse championship game. Navy was the alpha dog all season until they lost their senior star, Steve Looney. Can Army keep them from the conference title? Tune in tomorrow for all the action. It's the King of Spring, only on CSTV. But back here in Game 3 of the MIVA Championship, IPFW has the serve. They're leading 23-21. Very close game. It's rally scoring, so it can change at any time. Brock Ulrich needs to put this ball in the box.
Loyola trying to take Brock out of his rhythm, calling that timeout. This is a huge serve reception for Loyola.
Good pass. Loyola in system, had all their options, and they chose the middle. They got a touch off IPFW and a point.
And that's a huge break for Loyola because that hit was going well out of bounds. CJ Macias just couldn't pull his hands back in time. Comes up with the deflection.
Cause with the serve for Loyola, serves it out. Oh, that has to pain him to make those mistakes right now when his team needs him to be a leader.
Again, he just wants it so bad. You can just see it in his eyes. Very frustrated right now.
Michael Quinones, number 2 for IPFW, coming in. We haven't seen him a lot. He is a serving specialist. When Cause makes an error like that, they don't want to take a chance that they're going to have another one for IPFW. So here comes Quinones. Good serve. Cause gets the set. And he tries to make it up to his friends.
And he does with a huge hit from the 10-foot line.
Big kick.
There's the look. So focused, so serious right now.
The freshman, Joe Guntland. Never serious, but big service error there again. Frustrating for these coaches to see their players have those service errors.
Tough to keep the pressure on when you're missing serves. That time 2 of Loyola's best servers, Cause and Gunley in a row, missing their serves.
Loyola in system. Big set. Big red. Now, nice pass. They go outside to Nelson. But it's Doug. Big red puts a setup for CJ Macias. He knows who to set. Loyola. Back to Cause. Big block. But they dig it up. Loyola. Cause just puts it down the line. And it's, what are they calling? They're waiting for a call here. We're waiting for a call on that.
The ball looked well out.
And that referees agree with you. Out. Cause just trying to place the ball down the line. Went out of bounds.
Brian Hemmelgarn saying, relax, I'm on it, I saw it. And another huge point for IPFW.
Lundeen with the serve. Cause attacks the ball, and it's long again. Now, as a setter, do you keep going back to Cause because he's such a heart of your team, or after he's had a couple errors, lay off?
No, you go to him, but you don't force it to him. You have to go within the flow, where the pass ends up.
Lundeen with the serve, but it's in the net. But in that case, he's gotten at least a couple in the box first.
Boy, I tell you. The joy of sports. Young athletes, there you see Lundeen right there. Got a few big serves in and then put that one in the net. Another big break for Loyola.
Corey Cluse serving for Loyola. Oh my gosh, it's in the net. Oh, these coaches are just gonna killing themselves. What do you do with this? That's one thing you can't change.
I'm telling you, Arnie Ball has no hair left on his head, and Shane Davis is a young guy, but he's gonna be getting some gray hairs if this serving continues.
Wow. And an attack from Loyola setter, but it's Doug. IPFW gets the ball in the net. Oh, you hate to see sloppy volleyball when people are hitting it in the net. These are two great teams. You want to see them play their best. They've had some great moments right now, though. Both teams just struggling.
Tough break there for the libero Morisi. Wanted to get that bump set outside to CJ Macias, couldn't get it done.
Brian Guntley, Loyola's setter.
They've got to get some points right now because IPFW, if they just continue to side out, they'll score points and win this game 3.
CJ Macias hits the ball. But Guntley's up, sets clues, and he uses that block against them. He gets a point for Loyola, 26-28.
McCaw's in transition on that right side, and IPFW is going to take a timeout. They don't want to see the lead that they've worked so hard slip away here right at the end of the game. There was the defensive play, and then straight to your right side. So to answer your question, even if your top guns had a couple of bad hits or a couple of missed serves, you got to keep feeding him because you're gonna either sink or swim on his arm.
That's what makes him a top gun, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Shane Davis understands that really well. Loyola's coach, we told you, he's only 26 years old. He got the head coaching job at 23. Mike, advantages, disadvantages of having a young coach like that?
Well, the advantages are the energy, the ability to relate to not only his players, but to young players that he's out there recruiting. He was a setter, and your setter is always your thinker on your team, so he was probably doing a little bit of coaching while he was playing. And, you know, there's a lot of advantages, and I tell you, he stepped in. I talked to him before the match. He said, when I got the job, they just said, there's your desk. Go to work. And he said he had a lot of people helping him along the way because there's so much more to coaching than there is to playing. And all the recruiting and setting up your schedule and all that, that is just a huge set right there from Colin Lundeen to Josh Stewart.
Game point now.
Another great timeout from Arnie Ball, settling his team down twice now out of timeouts. IPFW has run great offensive plays.
Josh Stewart, game point for IPFW. Big hit there from Loyola. Point, 29-28. Now these are all game points, keep in mind, in rally scoring, so every serve counts.
IPFW is going to get to take advantage of all the hard work that they've put in here in game 3, receive, serve, and win it.
Chris Nelson serving for Loyola. You better believe these serves need to be in. And big hit, but it drained right down in front of Loyola. It's game 3 goes to IPFW in the MIVA championship.
And Arnie Ball has worked his magic again. He's got his team right where he wants him, putting more pressure on Loyola than they've ever felt all season.
Don't go anywhere. This is a 5-game match, so it's best 3 out of 5. IPFW leads right now 2-1. We'll be back with game 4. NCAA Volleyball on CSTV has been brought to you by the American Volleyball Coaches Association. The AVCA exists for volleyball coaches and because of volleyball coaches. Things are tight here in the brown box that rocks. These Loyola players have not lost in this alumni gym this season. 17-0 this year. You're watching the MIVA Championship. We're on the campus of Loyola Chicago, and right now IPFW has come in here and is winning 2-1 against these teams. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson. I'm here with Mike Dodd. Mike, game 4. What needs to happen for Loyola to tie this up?
Well, I think first and foremost, there you see Shane Davis. He's got to settle his troops down and somehow find a way to get them loose and get them having fun again. They had a little bit of fun in game 2, and they played much better. And then all of a sudden in game 3 again, IPFW played very well, kept the pressure on, and you could just see the Loyola Rambler players just tightening up as the match, as the game was coming to an end. So they've got to find a way to loosen up. And the psychology of volleyball is so intense, and these are young college players. Loyola has beaten IPFW 2 times this year, so there's so much pressure on them to win this 3rd match and go on, and they won the league and they had everything going their way. But I tell you, you got an experienced, great coach like Arnie Ball, who knows how to scout, knows how to prepare his teams, and you know, you want to take it to the next level if you're Loyola, and sometimes saying it is a lot easier than doing it. And this is a big test right now for Loyola and for their coach Shane Davis.
And meanwhile, Arnie Ball has had 5 MIVA championships in his 26 years. Oh! Another big hit from IPFW. Loyola there just not able to control the ball and keep it on their side.
And again, this doesn't go down as an ace, but it's as good as one because you force the team to overpass, you put the ball away, and you look at IPFW's statistics. They have 1 ace and 16 errors, but the serves they're getting in are constantly getting Loyola in trouble and keeping pressure on.
CJ Macias, one of the biggest pressure players for IPFW, gets an ace right there. How important is it for Macias to play well for IPFW and Kaz to play well for Loyola?
It's critical for both teams. They're their go-to guys. They're their leaders. They've been their guys all year long, and a lot of times it comes down to which one of your stars performs the best in crunch time.
Macias with another serve. And this one is long. Loyola Chicago now has an opportunity to serve the ball, work the plays, but CJ Macias from IPFW ready to receive. Grunts with the serve. IPFW a little out of system, but they still go to Macias from the back court. Doug and Guntley, the freshman. A pancake save though, nope.
Looked like a pretty good call by the up official. Macias tried to get the pancake underneath, and it looked to me like this ball just hit the ground before the pancake got there.
A pancake is just when you slide a little hand like a pancake.
You lay it right underneath the ball.
There's the freshman, Joe Guntley, a huge factor in this match. Grunst for Loyola, serves the ball long. Boy, you're sure that the coaches talked to them during the break about keeping their serves in and giving themselves a chance to win the match.
Easier said than done when the emotions are flowing.
Brock Ulrich back to serve for IPFW. And it's outside to the freshman, Joe Guntley. It's Doug, though. And now free ball. Kaz passes the ball, and they work the middle. Nice snap from Corey Clues and Loyola. A perfect pass there made that happen for them. We haven't seen a lot of it.
There you're going to see Clues 13 just getting up, cutting it cross court, and trying to get a little something going.
Now Kaz back to serve in the box. Here's the set from Lundeen, goes outside. Single block there by Loyola. Ooh. That setter got up high to touch that one. Unfortunately, he set it over.
Interesting call, Lundeen going up real high, getting called over the net.
Well, he's got
He was
hops.
a front row player. Yeah, he got up on that one.
6'3".
Interesting call.
He was up high on that. Kaz again with the serve. In the box again, Lundeen back to CJ Macias. Woo! Off the blocks, gave us a little haircut here at the table.
Right at us. And again, Macias doing a great job of just beating it off the block. Here you're going to see it.
Here
just
goes
tooling the outside hand of...
That's Guntley. Sudar Sitka back to serve now. Nice pass. They're in system, and there he goes again. Corey Clues, big hit out of the middle for Loyola.
Clues having a great series right now out of the middle. Trying to get everybody fired up. Shows a lot of emotion on the court. Loyola needs that emotion right now.
Here's our emotional player, Joe Guntley, serving the ball. The freshman, nice serve. Lundeen. Kaz digs it up, and they go outside to Nelson. Cross-court hit, and there's Clues again in the middle, but he's blocked by IPFW. Big block there, Colin Lundeen, the setter, the quarterback, if you will, for IPFW. Needs to control his team, control the tempo of the game. When we say he's in system, that means he's got a pass where he can set any of his hitters. We go outside, Kaz, block, uses IPFW and gets a point.
That's a huge play by the Kaz. Just absolutely bailing his team out. That shank pass, free blockers up, Kaz just goes up and tools the block, and he's going to be the man. If Loyola's going to get it done, they're going to need to get it done through him.
Kaz, the MIVA Conference Player of the Year. Serve is long. And IPFW leading game 4 of the MIVA Championship, 7-6. They've won 2 games so far to Loyola's 1. Back to serve now, Josh Collins for the Mastodons. Gutley, not their best passer, but gets it done. Kaz, meanwhile, gets the kill.
Kaz really starting to get his rhythm, hitting from the 10-foot line. Now he's rotated into the front row, and again, the broad jump, hard cross court, another kill. So athletic.
Kaz getting more than double the amount of attempts that his teammates have, and it works for him. He likes the pressure. Loyola, a little bit of trouble now. But Gutley sends it over. And now Ulrich gets dug by Loyola. Fans move out of the way, and Gutley sends it back over, and they're still in business. Here's IPFW out of the middle, blocked by Grunst, but blocked out of bounds.
And number 9, John Thuet for Loyola, just playing some great defense. There you see IPFW's libero, Morici. That man right there had some great defensive plays in that last rally.
Coach was telling us they call him baby food. They always take the hit from these guys, the little guys. You know, what are you going to say to the 6'8" middle blocker when he calls you baby food?
Yeah, don't do that.
He said, yes, sir. Chris Nelson now, ready to serve the ball. IPFW, Lundeen has his options. He chooses outside, and Brock Ulrich.
Ulrich again coming up big on the outside. Nice tool down the line. Just playing a great match for IPFW.
He's very difficult to read when he's hitting. The coaches tell me he's one of the best passers on the team as well. Macias back to serve. He's had some trouble with his serve, but that one's in. Outside to the freshman. And he's dug by Macias. And there's Macias again, but this time he hits it in the net.
Macias comes up with a great dig and then tries to go for the ultimate in cross-court angle again. Just catching the top of the net.
Loyola's blocker is ready for Macias. Macias just looking right through him. He's got the eye of the tiger on him.
So talented.
Grunst with the serve. Back to Macias again. They keep going back to him, and why not? Dug by Loyola is out of system, and this ball out of bounds.
And again, Loyola continues to make silly, unforced errors at times when they need to be controlling the ball and putting the pressure on IPFW. Instead, they're not controlling the ball and letting IPFW off the hook.
Shane Davis, third-year coach of Loyola, appearing frustrated at this point. And there it is. Now, what happened on that play?
Well, just one of those plays where your setter, Brian Gutley, tries a little too hard, forces it a little too much to the middle. And that set was low, and just it's a combination of a setter error and then the hitter trying to do a little too much with a set that was far from perfect.
Should he have chosen a different target instead?
He could have. The setter for sure, a different target, and the hitter, when you get a low set, you can always do something else other than hitting it into the bottom of the net.
Kaz, Brock came right back off his forehead on that one. Big roof.
Well, that's what's happening for Loyola right now. They're getting a little predictable, and IPFW is really keying in on Kaz.
So at that point, what should their setter be doing?
He's got to be mixing it up, being less predictable.
Here's Kaz, blocked again. You stay tuned. We're in Game 4 of the MIVA Championship. Don't go away. After this match is over, we've got the EIVA Championship following this one. It's Championship Saturday on CSTV. 3 volleyball championships. Number 3 St. Francis versus number 1 Penn State in the EIVA next. Meanwhile, here in Chicago at Alumni Gym, the brown box that rocks, IPFW is controlling the match and controlling the crowd at the moment. They are leading 2-1, and they are leading this 4th game right now, hitting .330 in the match so far. And there's Kaz, Loyola's big star, putting the ball down for a point.
There you see a little relief for Kaz. He got blocked right back on his noggin the previous play. And like all great setters do with great hitters, you go right back to them because you want to keep your gun hot and keep them confident.
Big serve from Kaz. IPFW manages to save it. Oh! And Loyola gets mixed up. They're too close to the ball, and IPFW gets the point.
And again, I don't like the body language on Loyola right there. There you see Kaz. He's getting so frustrated and so mad at little plays that Loyola continues to not execute well when they're getting the free ball opportunities.
So now Sitka back to serve for IPFW. And the back set to Kaz, bangs the ball. Wow, he is mad.
And right now, Kaz needs to focus some of that energy off of himself and onto the rest of his players. He's taking too much on. Needs to relax, smile a little more like he was smiling at the end of game 2, and get everyone involved.
Maybe have a little fun at the same time. The middle working there, but Big Red gets it deep. And Loyola disappointed.
And the up official again right on it with the touch defensively. This is a high hit, goes right off the defensive touch. There you see the call.
Colin Lundeen, IPFW setter, back to serve. A very calm Forrest Lundeen, as you don't see him getting too emotional.
He's set a great match so far tonight.
Bad pass. Meanwhile, Loyola now, oh, they got a nice setup for Kaz still. And it's going to get him the point.
And give Joe Guntley credit in the back row. There was no one else available to hit that play. He gives a nice little bump set over to Kaz. Kaz takes a little bit off it and gets another huge kill.
Kaz right now, the key to this team's success, 21 kills, 7 digs, 2 aces. He has more than twice as many attempts as his teammates. He's carrying a heavy load.
Really starting to rack up the kills. And Loyola, as much as you want to feed your gun, you also have to be able to mix it up so that the block doesn't just key on him the whole rest of the way.
Game 4 underway, Big Red in the middle. Now it goes outside to Chris Nelson. He tries to unload, but it's Doug. Here's CJ Macias. Kaz gets as much as he can, and now Kaz is going to put it over. Nice and easy, free ball. IPFW can do what they want. They use a big one. Oh! Big one off of the shoulders of Loyola, and this time they weren't able to handle the ball in the rafters.
That time James Grunts was caught right up at the front of the net, and he really didn't think he was going to be part of this play. You see him turn around and just stand straight-legged, and look, the ball bounces right at his feet. You've got to be ready at all times to make that kind of play when it's ricocheting off the ceiling.
You see that guilty look on his face afterwards. Here's Grunts trying to make it up to everybody. I'm so sorry.
He had a little extra hitch in his giddy up there to make up for that previous play. And, you know, one of those plays like that where you're standing there and the ball almost hits you in the foot and you know no one else, they're looking at no one else but you.
Yeah.
So Grunts, to his credit, comes back with a big put away for Loyola.
So that was an apology, probably. Here we go again at PFW. Brock Ulrich just kind of taps it over, and now they go back to Kaz. Who else? Big kill.
Okay, that's it. When it hits the rafter on the way crossing over the net, it's a dead ball. Point to Loyola, and Kaz continues to rip the ball.
Yeah, that time IPFW's dig did just come over and hit the post coming across. A break there for Loyola, something they're used to here in Alumni Gym. The brown box that rocks. IPFW, though, coming in here not at all intimidated by the 17-0 record in this Alumni Gym that the Ramblers have this year. Big Red, nice body control in the air.
And a great set again from Colin Lundeen. Another overpass that he's able to jump high with that leaping ability, control, and feed his big middle.
Now Big Red, Josh Stewart, back to serve for the Mastodons, 16-14 in Game 4 of this
Stewart's quietly been doing a great job in this game.
Kaz, oh! He drove a tunnel right through that. There was only one blocker up. Wow, great snap.
Just bombs away. And some of these kills have got to get the rest of his teammates fired up.
He seems to be a little bit calmer right now, too. Colin Lundeen goes back to CJ Macias, big hit. These guys are hitting the ball so hard right now. Is it a good time to try to mix it up, maybe?
I tell you, CJ Macias just bringing the absolute heat that time, hitting it off the head of Grunts.
Macias, focused, concentrating. He's been carrying his IPF team. Lots of attempts now, serving it. Kaz, blocked.
And there again is the pitfalls of having the pass so close over to the Kaz and just going straight up. The block is already set, and that's one of those plays where maybe you want to shoot it to the outside because everyone is keying on Kaz right now.
Josh Collins and Mastodons back there ready. CJ Macias serving. Heavy serve, wow. Their setter is able to make it do. And IPFW goes outside. Brock Ulrich gets the touch off Loyola's Ramblers.
And we have got to keep an eye on Brian Guntley right now, because he took an absolute thud over here at the scorer's table. And Shane Davis is going to take a timeout right now to give his setter a little rest. Watch him motor, and he just hits that so hard. We're right there, we could feel it, and he needs a break.
Well, he needs a break. We're going to take a little break, but you make sure you stay with us. We'll be back with more action in a minute. Game 4 of the MIVA Championship. Setter Brian Guntley of the Ramblers just took a big hit. You were saying, Mike, that his coach took a timeout, in part to help him and in part to what?
Just calm his team down. This is critical time right now.
Guntley to Guntley. Guntley to Guntley, the senior to the junior to the freshman.
And Joe does a great job that time of getting there quick and tooling the block, and great serve reception there by John Stewart again. And he's just been doing that all night long. Number 9, the libero for Loyola. And they really have to push now and try to score some points defensively. And they're not going to do it by missing serves.
James Grunst, the 6'8" middle blocker, usually a pretty good server, they said, but he serves the ball out.
He's really been a little out of sorts this entire match. His rhythm has been off. He's pressing a little bit, and need him to come through here.
Brock Ulrich serves for IPFW. Brian Guntley puts it up to Joe Guntley. He's blocked this time.
And again, with the leaping ability of Colin Lundeen, he takes a great swing block out there, one-on-one against the smaller setter. You think advantage outside hitter, and Lundeen just does a great job. That's an emotional play. Everything going for IPFW right now.
Lundeen, this is his first year with IPFW. He transferred from British Columbia. Came right into the starting setter position. And there's Kaz. Big bang, but it's dug by IPFW. They're going to send it back. Now it's Loyola's chance. Brian Guntley picks Kaz, who lets it go. Big hit.
And again, a sigh of relief. Even when they're making a good play and putting the ball down, you see the faces on the Loyola players. They're tense. They need to relax a little bit. Like you said, it's not easy to have fun when you're down 21-17 in the 4th game and you've won the league, and you're going on your 3rd win against IPFW, and it's not happening. But Loyola right now has got to find a way.
And this senior, Chris Kozlarek, also doesn't want his season to end yet. It doesn't seem like he's ready. Chris Kos setting the ball to Joe Guntley. And here's Loyola again with another opportunity. They check Guntley again. Outside IPFW, but Loyola showing their defense. It's off the Raptors. Now it's a matter of trying to get it again. The middle blocker couldn't get to it in time. IPFW, this time the Raptors went in their favor.
And there you see, loose as a goose. Calm, focused, IPFW, Loyola, stressing, unable to control that ball defensively. There you have it right there.
Being up 1 game certainly gives you that luxury. Gerard Quillen, a serving specialist for IPFW. Puts the ball in play. Loyola struggling, and Kozlarek doesn't get it quite far enough and over the net. IPFW leading 23-17.
And again, the frustration there. Guntley plays a serve that was going to be 10 feet out of bounds. Loyola makes a great save to bring the ball back in, and their ace, the Kos, doesn't get it over the net with the 3rd contact.
Quillen serves again.